Hey everybody. I usually do this while I'm driving because it's obviously dangerous. There's nobody on the road, thankfully. My eyes are on the road while we're going. You can see the mountains. It's pretty. I think the snow is actually. There's a little bit of it at one point, but for the most part, I think the snow is gone. We are on our way and going to be arriving soon and just hitting the ground running as soon as we get there. Going to a place we've been to before, nice by the water, walk around, just a couple hours because it's going to be a hot one today. That is for sure. The heat advisories are out. It is supposed to reach 103 degrees, which is, and this is true, too hot. So I won't be out during that part. That's not supposed to happen until noon. So we got a couple of hours, and I expect to just be out for a bit. Anyway, be there in a minute, and then get all geared up and ready to go. We'll go see what we can see for wildlife. Maybe take some bird pictures. Look at all the birds. They were just flocks and flocks of them. I don't know how well. If there's more up ahead. They are all over the road right here. They're just tons of them lifted up into the air as I turned onto this road that leads us to the wildlife area. Neat. It is hot out there.
Can you stay? Have you just gotten loose? That's okay. I expect this will be different next time we come out. I have some plans in motion that I'm not ready to discuss yet. Anyway, good time out. That was cool. Saw some birds, for sure. We saw, let's see. When I first got here, the first thing we saw was, I feel like I've identified it before. I've seen, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It's like black and white, and it's got specifically a white band around the tail.
Eastern kingbird. We have seen it before, but it has been a while. We never saw it this close.
That was a bird that we saw, took some pictures of. Very cool. Did a little walk around, saw that, and I will say whatever it was is not afraid of picking a fight with an osprey. There was a pair of them that an osprey was going over, and they just dive bombed, which was interesting to see. And then I saw where the osprey landed up on, they've got, I guess what would have been old telephone poles or, electric poles. And then they just put a crossbar up at the top in a place. We went out a couple weeks ago and saw osprey with their young at a nest at something like that. This one was just sitting there perched. I watched it for a while. It was making some noises. I took some pictures waiting for it to take off, and it did take off, and I was ready, and I started taking the pictures, and then I noticed that there was something in its talons, and I zoomed in on the camera. You won't see this because it's too graphic for YouTube. I can't take the chance of getting flagged for graphic content, but it'll be on Patreon. I believe, just briefly looking at it on the camera, is the remnants of a fish. Pretty cool. Definitely interesting to see it, what was left of its breakfast, I suppose, as it went off somewhere else to probably finish it where it would not be disturbed. So we saw that, the osprey, very cool. Some things here or there, woodpecker for a moment, birds here or there. That was pretty much the highlight, and then I come all the way around to the far side of the lake, and it opens back up, and I can see a heron in the tree, like up off the water, watching, which is interesting. It was not in the water or near striking distance to the water. There were also some cormorants around there, but the heron itself was not like actively hunting in the water, which is something that they do. So yeah, good stuff. That was definitely the highlight. Hello, fly. You need to leave the car. I'll roll the windows down. It's not that hot yet. It's definitely getting there, but it's not 100 degrees or anything like that. Hot enough to the point where I'm sweating. But I think that's everything. Oh, I did solve the problem. Go out the door. The last time we came out, I had an issue with what I've been doing. I have the chest-mounted, the GoPro, and it just wouldn't record. It would start recording, and then I'd hit stop, and it would not continue to record. It was crashing halfway through. And when I was out there last time, I tried to reset it and factory reset and reformat the card and do all these things. And I went home and looked up online, and people were saying you can do a full format where it will fully go through and rewrite basically every bit of code on the entire storage device. Just burn through all of that to make sure. And then I did that, and I tried it again, and it was still doing it, corrupted. I've heard that's common. This is the first time it's ever happened to me. They are the little micro SD cards, and I'll tell you what, I have been reading nothing online but bad things about the micro SD cards, about how easy it is to lose them because they're tiny, how flimsy they are, how corrupt they get easily. They're just less quality. That's what I read online. And I went, yeah, sure, okay. And I haven't had any issues with any other SD cards throughout all the time that I've been doing this. That's the first one that's had an issue. And it's probably gotten the most use because the GoPro will be set up for long periods of time where I'll just press record and walk away and let it go for a couple hours. So it's definitely gotten the most use out of everything, but I don't know. It's cheap to replace, thankfully. It sucks that it seems to be just useless now. I don't know if I can use it for other types of files or it's smaller. I haven't done anything with it, but I put a new I got a new one, put a new one in the GoPro, and it seems to be recording fine. And I think it did fine the entire time we were out, so that's good. But I was reminded of that when I was getting a new one, because it wasn't that long ago I was looking at audio recorders, and they're a audio recorder that I already have, and then they brought out a newer model that I was looking at going, now what's the difference here? Besides they changed some of the colors to make it look sleeker, are there actually any benefits? And I'm looking over it going, is this something, you know, that maybe one day I might need? And I'm reading through about it and noticing that basically it's the same, and they've taken away some features which people are upset about. And then there, you know, multiple posts and reviews about it going, why would you do this? Because they took away the full SD card slot and made it just the micro SD card slot, and people who are professionals who are listing all the reasons I just said, and reminded me that micro SD cards are generally frowned upon from a perspective. I don't have any skin in the game one way or the other. I'm not saying if they're good or bad. I have cameras that use both. Like I said, this is the first one I've had that died. This is the first one that corrupted, that will not record, at least out of that camera anymore. I haven't tried it in a different recording scenario to see if it's just completely corrupt and it no longer saves data, or to see if it's just on like high quality, the 4K 60 coming out of the GoPro. But anyway, yeah. Technically I lost another one at one point, but that is not due to anything but my own negligence when I was trying to repair a 3DS, and I forgot to remove the SD card first, and then I accidentally chipped it and it broke off, and it was just a tiny little bit, but that was enough. No longer recognized, does not work anymore. But that was my own fault. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm gonna go home now. Good time getting out before the heat. It was good. It definitely did get hot while I was out there though, and that's when the birds kind of tucked back for the afternoon to survive the heat. And I go, yep, that's my cue. I stopped seeing as many, I stopped hearing as many, and it's time to, oh, speaking of hearing, okay, there was one more thing to highlight. The osprey, the heron, and Steller's jay. Pretty sure, because that's, I think, the only jay I've seen out here. Back on the East Coast, I used to see blue jays all the time. But out here, I've seen the Steller's jay. But I've not heard the Steller's jay making the noises that I heard them making out here today. That was really interesting. I heard it and could not figure out what it was. And then I wound up taking some pictures, and I had the audio rolling for on the GoPro. And I was surprised to see that it was a Steller's jay. They apparently make a wide variety of noises. Pretty cool. All right, that's going to do it then. Until next time, everybody. See ya. Bye. Adios. Bonjour is hello. Jorban. That must be the reverse of it. That's how it works. That's how it works in English, right? We have hello, and then when you mean to say goodbye, you say, get out of my car, fly. No. What? I'm losing the train of thought entirely.